That night, I found myself alone in my quarters. A single lamp burned in the darkness, its dim light casting shadows across the walls. Outside, the temple was quiet, save for the occasional drip of rainwater clinging to the eaves. I stared at the flame on the table, but my thoughts were elsewhere. I kept thinking about the sound of Dren screaming in the whispering glade, the way his body had jolted, like he was being torn apart from the inside. I'd put him there. That had been me. My fault. My doing. He'd looked at me like I was filth. No, worse than filth. I couldn't get that look out of my head. Couldn't breathe past it. I'd never, ever felt like this before. This feeling, whatever it was, it almost felt like hate. Only that it wasn't directed at anyone else. It was directed at me. Almost like I hated myself. Was this what shame felt like? I thought of Dhalâra, her face. When I closed my eye, I could almost see it. Not her shouting or the blood or the way her words had gutted me last time we saw each other. Just her face, her awkward little smile, that strange half glance she always gave me. Like she couldn't look at me straight, but couldn't quite look away either. My chest tightened, my breath caught. And suddenly I couldn't tell where the guilt for Dren ended and the guilt for her began. It was the same. It felt the same. I'd hurt her too, maybe even worse than Dren, because unlike him, Dhalâra had actually cared about me, trusted me, and I'd thrown it all to the muck. I thought of the forsaken garden, how broken I'd been during those early weeks, all those months ago. How she'd come to me, bringing food. How she'd seen me when no one else even checked if I was breathing. She had been my constant, my one thread of safety in this wretched, airless place. And I'd ruined it. I curled tighter together, arms wrapped around a pillow I'd dragged into my lap, like it could hold me together. My fingers gripped the edge of it hard, nails digging in. I could still picture her sitting on the floor, right there. The same damn spot she always chose, like it meant something. And now it was just empty. I hate you. That's what she'd said. What if she could never forgive me? What if I'd burned this bridge beyond repair? No. She hadn't told Ezra my secret. Otherwise, Azura would have known about it by now. That I'd been to the sealed-off garden. That I was asking questions about Lakash. That had to be a good sign. Right? Dhalâra. Oh, sweet Dhalâra. She hadn't betrayed me. Gods, I missed her. I told her she was brainwashed. I'd thrown the Fox-Paw amulet in the mud. What was wrong with me? Why'd I always been this way? Nasty and cruel, yet incapable of seeing it for what it was. I closed my eye, hard, tried to block it all out. But the ache stayed. The absence stayed. I don't want to lose you, I whispered. To the pillow, to the air, to the ghost of her. And somewhere in the back of my mind, a voice whispered, "It's not too late." I didn't know if it was my voice or someone else's, but I clung to it like it mattered.
Not too late.
Maybe I could fix it. Maybe. Come morning, I returned to the training grounds where I'd last seen Dhalâra. The storm had taken its toll. The yard was a mess of mud and puddles. The scent of rain and wet earth lingered in the air, and the scattered flagstones were slick beneath my feet. This was where it had happened, where our friendship had broken, and where I'd hurled the Fox-Paw amulet she gave me for my birthday. The memory burned fresh as I crouched low, scanning the ground. It had to be here somewhere. Dropping to my knees, I began searching. Ash and mud clung to my hands, cold and sticky. I didn't care. I had to find it. Minutes dragged by. My heart sank with every handful of wet dirt I pushed aside. Then, finally, my fingers brushed something soft. I pulled it free and held it up to the pale morning light. The Fox-Paw amulet, caked in mud, the leather cord stiff and knotted, but still intact. I brushed it off as best I could, my hands trembling slightly as I cradled it in my palm. For a moment I just sat there, staring. It felt heavier than it should have, like it carried everything I hadn't said. "I'm sorry," I whispered, unsure whether the words were meant for her, myself, or the two of us. I clutched the amulet tightly. Then I stood slowly and left the training grounds. I spent the following hour scouring the temple, searching for her. The Fox-Paw amulet felt like a lifeline in my hand, a fragile thread back to what I had broken. The temple was quieter than usual. The air felt too thin to breathe, and the lingering dampness made every shadow sharper, every corner darker. As I walked, I kept forming words in my head, then discarding them. Too stiff, too selfish, too little, too late. I tried again, reshaping them as I went. Softer this time, simpler, truer. Words that felt almost too bare to say aloud. 3 words. How hard could it be? My grip tightened around the amulet, and I sighed. Sometimes it seemed mustering the courage to utter the simplest truths was more difficult than giving voice to 1,000 carefully chosen words. I checked all her usual spots, her favorite gardens, every nook and cranny of the 10th terrace, the walkways she favored when she thought no one was watching. Nothing. Each empty space tightened something in my chest. And then, finally, I found her. She stood by the eastern reflecting pond, on the 11th terrace, her back to me. The water lay still, dark and glassy beneath the overcast sky. Her hair was pulled into a braid, her shoulders were drawn back, her posture held with quiet care. But there was a stiffness to it, a fragile kind of poise, like someone bracing for impact without knowing if it would come. For some reason that made me hesitate. For a moment I just watched her, the Fox-Paw amulet heavy in my palm. Then I summoned what little courage I had left and stepped forward. "Dhalâra," I said softly. She turned, slowly, and her eyes widened. "Emilia?" And then we stood there, face to face, surrounded by everything unsaid. Her gaze was locked with mine, steady, It was almost unbearable, but I didn't look away. She didn't move, didn't speak, just stood, like a beautiful statue cut from dusk and shadow. I clenched the amulet in my hand, its nails biting into my skin. My chest thudded. Everything I'd rehearsed, everything I'd planned to say, froze in my throat, knotted and useless. She tilted her head.
What do you want, Emilia?
Her voice was calm, but beneath it lay something sharp, something uncertain. I felt it cut into me. I opened my mouth, but nothing came. My hand tightened around the amulet, and then, almost as though by themselves, came words I hadn't planned on speaking. You once told me about your mother. Dhalâra didn't react, but something in her gaze sharpened, as though she were listening despite herself. You said she brought you and Ezra here, I went on. That it was a sacrifice. For the gods. For Azura. For faith. But I don't think that's true. Her eyes flickered. Just once. I took a step closer. She still didn't move. I think she did it for you, I said. Because she loved you. Because she couldn't imagine her daughters wasting away on the streets of Ulanath once she was gone. My throat tightened. People don't go through hell for faith alone. Not like that. The silence stretched. I could hear my own breathing. She loved you, I said again, the words stirring my chest so hard that tears sprang to my eye. She loved you, Dhalâra. You understand? She loved you because you deserve to be loved. I swallowed. My hand trembled around the amulet. The words hung between us, trembling in the cold morning air. She didn't answer, just stared with those dark, glassy eyes. And yet there was something soft in her gaze that made me think that maybe, just maybe, she understood what I was trying to tell her. The reflecting pool lay still beside us, its surface unbroken, holding the grey sky like a secret it refused to give back. Somewhere above, the glowing flowers blinked faintly among the branches, their light slow and patient, as though time itself had eased its grip. I could hear my own breathing, too loud, too close, on the soft lap of water against stone. I didn't dare move, didn't dare speak. Whatever I had said, or almost said, sat between us, fragile as glass. At last I swallowed. The silence was starting to hurt. Were you at the Whispering Glade yesterday? I asked. She nodded. Then you saw what she did to Dren? I said. It was my fault. I did that. I hurt him. I've hurt people before. Probably more than I even remember. I didn't realize it then. Not fully. I mean, maybe I did, but I never felt it. But now, for some reason, I can't stop thinking about it. I think maybe that I'm not a good person, Dhalâra. Still, she didn't speak. Still, she didn't look away. But when I'm with you, I don't know. I feel different. You make me feel like I want to be nice. To you. That probably sounds silly. I swallowed, the words hanging there between us. I hurt Dren, and I hurt you. I'm not going to lie and say I regret going into the sealed-off garden, because I don't. But I am sorry for what I said to you. That I said you're brainwashed. That was... I paused, squeezing the words out. That was mean. Maybe I meant it. Maybe I didn't. I don't even know anymore. But I'm sorry. Okay? I am. Look, I know you hate me, but...
I don't hate you.
She interrupted. What?
I'm sorry too.
My breath caught. What do you mean? She looked down. Her fingers found the edge of her sleeve and started tugging.
I said I was sick of you. I wasn't. I said you were a child. You're not. I said I hate you. I don't. It's just...
Her voice trailed off. Just... what?
I think you can make me a little crazy sometimes.
I'm sorry. I can be... a bit much.
And I know I can be a bit little.
Her words cut straight to my heart. That's not true, I said. You're not too little. You're... exactly enough. She looked down at her feet, a small, strange smile tugging at the corner of her mouth. I held out the Fox-Paw amulet, my hand trembling. The paw swayed slightly, still streaked with mud. If you want to be friends again, then take this. Then give it back to me. Like you did in Demember. Remember?
Friends?
She whispered, her eyes on the amulet. She didn't move. Then, softly, she reached out. Her fingers brushed mine. Her touch was cool. She cradled the amulet, turning it over. Her thumb passed slowly across the fur. For an awful minute, I imagined that she would toss it into the water. Then she looked up. She held it out to me.
Happy birthday,
she said. I blinked. It's not my birthday anymore.
But I'm still glad you're alive.
Tears filled my eye. She didn't speak again, but something in her gaze softened. The silence between us wasn't heavy anymore. For the first time in forever, it buzzed with something quiet and new.
I was heading to the training grounds, she said. Wanna come?
At this hour?
I'm trying new things these days, shaking it up.
And how's that going?
It's been extremely unpleasant, Emilia.
I laughed, wet and sudden. The tears spilled over. She looked at me, that old, puzzled, half-gaze fixed on my cheekbones.
What's wrong?
She asked, furrowing her brow. Nothing, I said, wiping my face. My hand closed around the amulet. I've just missed you so much.